30 Packard, 7-passenger touring, right?
It's my baby.
It's quite a car. 8 cylinders, 120 horsepower, 3-point suspension, 5-inch piston stroke.
Man, you're really hip on nostalgia.
Well, nostalgia and trivia are a couple of my hobbies. You Frank Orley?
I must be getting famous.
I'm Michael Rhodes. I'm a psychic investigator.
A what?
I'm into ESP and things like that.
Aren't we all?
Frank, I've been trying to talk to people who were with Frances Dahlgren the night she died.
Frances Dahlgren. Man, I was a heavy lady. Yeah, I was there that night.
Anything you can tell me might help.
Help what?
Help a friend who's being haunted by a car.
Come on, you're putting me on.
How did you know Frances Dahlgren?
Oh, I was going out with a friend of hers, Janet Lewis. But you won't be able to talk to her. We split up that night, and she went back east to live. What's this all about?
You have a tow truck and a crane. Do you think you could pull a car up from the bottom of the lake?
Yeah, I could. But what's a car doing at the bottom of the lake?
I'm not even sure it's down there. But a friend of mine just moved in the Dahlgren house, and she's had a couple of experiences that might have something to do with Frances's death. She had an ESP impression. Thinks there's a car down there. I just want to find out if there's any truth in what she saw.
Man, you better be careful. Somebody's going to drop a net over you.
Frank, what if there really was a car down at the bottom of the lake? Would that make a believer out of you?
No, it'd take a lot more than that.
Well, would it be a start?
Yeah, you could say that. Guess I'm going to need a head gasket for the packet, okay? Is that all right with you? Where'd you get that?
Found in some bushes down by the lake. You ever seen it before?
Yeah. A long time ago.
Hey, look, there's a girl in that car.
Janet. Lieutenant, Janet told me it was all over between us that night. She said she was going back east to live, to try and forget. I argued with her, but it didn't do any good. So I started drinking. She said she was going upstairs to say goodbye to Frances. I must have passed out. When I woke up, she was gone. I figured I'd never see her again. I fixed the front end because she'd gotten drunk and driven through the living room window at Frances's house. I put that ornament on the hood of a car as a surprise the day before the party.
That's quite a story, Frank. It's almost as wild as the one about the vision.
Lieutenant, if I killed Janet, why would I have offered to pull the car up from the bottom of the lake?
Maybe that's just what you would do if things were closing in on you and you wanted to throw the suspicion off of yourself.
Now, wait a minute. Now, that's stupid. Really stupid.
Listen, the gas pedal in that car was tied down. That girl was murdered. Now, let's go over this whole thing one more time. In my office, Frank. Casey, you're riding a classic.
Well, we know one thing for sure. Gail wasn't imagining things.
But she saw Frances being murdered, not Janet Lewis.
I keep thinking about that sketch of the black cat that Gail drew. And Ann Carver's buried black cat. And those poems that Ann said she wrote. I can't get over the feeling that I've heard them before. My nightly dreams are where thy dark eye glances.
Whoever murdered Janet, maybe Francis, isn't going to like us poking around in the past.
It was horrible. Like being in a grave. With dirt being shoveled down on me. A cold shovel.
It's a good thing we didn't leave you.
But you didn't see the figure clearly.
No. But I know who it was. It was the same person I saw murdering Francis.
How do you know that?
I know it. I just know it.
Gail, I want you to leave here. I want you to go someplace else for a while where it'll be safer.
I can't.
I don't want anything to happen to you.
I can't leave. Maybe there are such things as ghosts, keeping me here against my will.
Whether it's this house or someone else's mind touching yours, the danger is just going to increase if you stay here.
Dr. Rhodes? Tom Walker.
How do you do? You're the newspaper editor that was at Francis's party, aren't you?
What do you want here? What are you trying to prove? You're messing around in things that don't concern you.
That's an odd assertion coming from a newspaper man.
I'm well aware of what digging up dirt can do to the memories of innocent people.
But one of those innocent people, Janet Lewis, was murdered 7 years ago. And there's a good possibility that Francis
Her
Dahlgren...
death was accidental. There's no reason to believe otherwise.
There is reason, but nothing you'd understand.
You're only helping to create an atmosphere of guilt, Rhodes.
People who trusted one another are beginning to look at each other with suspicion.
Are you one who's being looked at, Mr. Walker? Or did Frances Dahlgren leave her stock in the newspaper to you because you're a good editor?
I don't have to defend myself to you. Now stay out of this, Rhodes. Let the police investigate Janet's murder.
They know how to do their job in a town like this without hurting people unnecessarily.
What's the matter?
Thought I heard something. I'll be right back.